Hello and welcome back to Just Another Football Podcast. Is Erik Ten Hag a scam? Why does MLS keep stopping itself from growing? The Ballon D'Or ceremony is going on right now, and Fergal still doesn't have a working microphone. Hi, Fergal. Sound check. Oh boy, it's gonna be a.
I am here. I am here.
He is here, just on a laptop. Mike.
Yeah.
So bear with us, guys. It's he's been to be fair, I'm trying to solve it. But how are you apart from a broken microphone?
Yeah, as you can see, I moved into a new place. Obviously,
Yes.
recorded it here the last time as well, but I think my microphone in the move has maybe taken a bang somewhere and stopped working. That's what I'm guessing. I don't know if it's something else. I'm hoping it's maybe just something that could be fixed, an easy fix, but we'll see. I'm stuck with the laptop for now.
Fingers
But
crossed.
all right, seen a little bit of football, but yeah, doing okay.
Great. Yeah, today is actually a year since the best night of my entire life, the Eastern Conference Championship Final 2022. Philadelphia Union 3, New York City FC 1. What a night that was. We're in the MLS playoffs right now, and it's bizarre, and I want to talk about it at some point. But I want to open with this. After the Manchester Derby loss, Erik Ten Hag, in the post-match interview, said, when asked, when will you be able to play the same football with Manchester United that you should be allowed, that you showed with Ajax? Allegedly, he said this. Never. We will never play that football because those were different players. This is also not why I came here. We are playing different football than what I showed at Ajax because I have to, because I can't play the same way. The players decide how you play. Ajax has a very typical and characteristic style of play. With Manchester United, I will always show different football. I did so last year as well. We will play much more direct football here because I have the players for that here. One, a lot of those signings have been like handpicked by Erik Ten Hag that have been known to play the style of play at Ajax that he showed. Two, is he saying he doesn't have as good players at Man United as he does at Ajax because he just basically has to play hoofball to bypass
I wonder if it's more to do with the league. I wonder, does he think that, if he tried to play like Ajax,
he clearly said the players though. Like he clearly said it's different players. Didn't mention the league there.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't take that as like a. Yeah, in fairness, he definitely doesn't have the centre backs for it. Oh, well, is one of them. Short King Martin is.
Absolutely.
But yeah, maybe. Yeah, it is not a great thing to say. The thing that's mad is that he says like, did he say? Do you say he never play? We will never play that like that.
We will never play like that, Virgil.
That to me is like I thought you were brought in because they wanted you to play like that.
Bingo.
I thought that's what the whole point of it was. They went at saw you at Ajax and goes, we like a bit of that. Can you do that over here? And he goes, I'll give it my best. But then to turn around and be like, we'll never play like that is mental. I can understand why you can't play like that all the time, or maybe a more direct style does suit this Man United team, but yeah, no, strange one, definitely strange one.
I think this might become his second most famous, quote. Behind, eras come to an end. Yeah, Klopp and Guardiola play very good football, but eras come to an end. I think this might be the second, most famous behind that first one, which is now famous for all the wrong reasons. Man United, of course, lost to Man City incredibly convincingly 3-0. Say what you want about it being a soft penalty, it's just a penalty. It simply is, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah,
People.
we have to see the consistency with that, though. That's the issue.
I mean, I don't expect consistency, but I expect fouls to be given as fouls. And at least this time it was.
What you're saying though is you expect consistency. You expect fouls to be given as fouls.
Well, yeah,
That's wanting consistency.
I guess I am. But I don't expect it. But at least we've seen this given.
Yeah, but
Because
I don't think it should. I don't think it should have been overturned. They've overturned a decision of not giving a penalty
mm,
to giving one for something that is very soft and like we're back discussing VAR. We'll try and keep this bit short.
yes.
I they shouldn't have what they're going for. They shouldn't have been reviewed. It's too soft of a decision. And then also like if they are gonna start giving penalties for this, I'm all for it. But you have to be consistent in every game with this.
Yeah.
Like, because they did try and do it at one stage, and then they just sort of let it go again. But so be interesting next week if any holding fouls are given in the box.
Yeah.
It
It
was
will be.
very lazy defending by Hoyland.
It was like Hoyland. I feel like he just. I don't know. Was it a striker's defending or was it
Yeah.
just lazy defending? Like actually just lazy, regardless of who Rasmus Hoyland is. Because
Yeah,
it definitely is
both
like
are right.
okay, cool. So a striker's defending in terms of he has his hands all over Rodri in a very obvious way. That's like arms extended, holding him around his back a little, like.
His starting position was all wrong. He was nearly on the wrong side of him straight away.
That's also good. That's also right.
And that's why he's then have to pull him back. It's just he's not watching Roger at all. I think, and then Roger runs past him.
Yeah.
So if he had been like it's basic defending, yeah, I would be quite happy to show him how to do it. It's that basic, like, and I'm not a good defender, even at my side team, but yeah, it's yeah, really, really poor from him in that moment. But that's maybe a bit of his immaturity to coming through that. Um, you switch off in a moment like that in a big game, and then they go down because they weren't awful up until that point. They were sort of hanging in the game.
Yeah.
Man City were totally dominant, but from
Yeah.
there on in, it was game over pretty much.
Yeah, the first half was actually kind of okay for when it comes to matching Man City. Just chances wise, I guess. I didn't watch it all. I watched, I think, from just after the penalty. But after the penalty, it did feel like it was all Man City. Like they just kept going. But there was looking at least the stats. Most of Man City's expected goals figures the penalty. United had four chances. City had 7. City were better throughout, I guess, but at least there was a matchup there. Second half, 14 shots for Man City to 3. So, like, when United are trying to come back and actually do something, 1-0 down, it was all over pretty much. Like, it went the other way, really. And that's what happens when you I mean, the injuries are obviously a part of it. Having Maguire and Johnny Evans as your center back pairing against Erling Haaland isn't the greatest thing. Andre Nana had an amazing game, I thought. Saved 2 real sitters. Yeah. But that's what happens when you just. I guess I think there is a kind of like consensus that nobody really knows what Man United are trying to do, and we're 10 games in now, and yeah.
It really reminds me um of Arsenal though.
Mm.
It feels like the middle part of Mikel Arteta's reign over Arsenal, where like
Oh right,
they
yeah,
weren't
2020 and stuff.
they weren't doing as well. These sort of questions about like, well, how much has the football changed, and are they, is it, he's saying trust the process, but where's the results for this? Um, and like Arsenal, they've won a trophy early
Hmm.
in his reign. So I would like Ten Hag does seem like a decent manager, um, and it's sort of similar to Arsenal in the way that there's clearly some bad eggs that need to be moved on. Some of them uh, are potentially ones that he's bought, um, but like Sancho isn't cutting it apparently, and all the stories about or some of the stories from his time with Dortmund are coming out that he was playing well, but it was in spite of his professional attitude
Mm.
and that sort of thing. Um, and then there's as you said injuries and stuff like that. So like, are we really expecting Man United to beat Man City? I know it's a derby, but is 3-0 like a massive shock? And if you look at the context of the
Ah.
game, as we said, like they were in it up until the goal, and then this team just is lacking the character, it is lacking players. Johnny Evans is playing for them, like so. I love Johnny, but it's Johnny Evans at 36, so
It
it's
is.
it. Okay, you, that's just the way it is. And I've always honestly, maybe I'm looking at Man United and go, he could be worse. He could be us. Could be Chelsea. So, um, if like Man United fans, I think you just have to. I would say you just have to hope that Ten Hag is back in terms of the players that Man United let go, and it looks like he has been backed in the whole Sancho thing. Um, and that's again sort of similar to Aubameyang.
But
Um,
even if he is backed, the problem is that 0 of his 14 signings have worked so far. Really, when you really think about it, maybe Casemiro, maybe, but nobody else.
Casemiro has worked. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Who the Anthony's one. I think some of it is just their. I see it with Chelsea as well that it's such a big club, and whenever it's in a bad moment, like every player looks bad.
Hmm.
Um, and like there's just a negativity. At the bigger clubs, this negativity just seems to take a hold of every player, and you can't quite work through it. Um, and it can take a really long time for like some players to yeah just get good again. Really, I think it might be the pressure of playing for a club like Man United or Chelsea. Like because there's so many players in that team that you're like, if you put them in Man City's squad or put them in Man City's starting 11, some people say not many would make it into that starting 11. But
Mm.
I would say that there's actually a good few that if given put in a more positive squad like Arsenal or Man City, that you will see them flourish and be better players.
Yeah,
And
obviously, a toxic or like
yeah,
low performance environment, with the issues that you know Anthony and Jadon Sancho have had this season in the middle of it, it's obviously not gonna perform as well. But in a purely tactical sense, the Erik Ten Hag has come in with a defined philosophy with Ajax, and he's just done away with it, and it isn't working, and he's saying he's sticking with it. So I don't know what's insanity, I guess.
yeah, yeah. It's true. It'd be interesting to see how it goes, but I just look
Hmm.
at them and go, yeah, the transfer business hasn't been great, but that's not just Ten Hag either.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that is
Anthony,
true.
very, very expensive. And we'll see how he goes. I haven't been convinced by him yet at all.
All right. Well, we're skipping Chelsea talk. Psych! No, we aren't. George has provided us with his thoughts, and here they are. Enjoy.
I'm unfortunately missing from today's podcast, but have the utterly depressing task of speaking about Chelsea versus Brentford. What's there to say? Brentford, congratulations, a good defensive performance. The first team to beat Chelsea away from home for the first 3 times they played them in the Premier League. So, I mean, that's something to be proud of. I mean, Chelsea. It's the same problems we've been speaking about for 3 years, at least. Fantastic build-up, great control of possession. When it gets into the box on both ends, defensively and attacking, we seem to lose the plot. We don't seem to have any structure. There's no ideas. We need a revamp. We need a proper striker. Where's Big Rom when you need him? It is, unfortunately, the same story, and Poch hasn't been able to really rejuvenate the side, even with the new signings. We spent plenty of money. You'd hope that they, despite being young, would kick on and play exciting football. That's not really there yet. I think we have to stick with him simply because of the situation we're in. I don't think turning over managers will really help. You know, looking at it at a positive, we're underperforming our XG by 6. You know, some would say we're not particularly clinical, and that's obvious. Clearly, we're making chances. We're just not converting. Maybe we'll go back to the average and go back to the mean and start performing better. But it's looking really dire at the moment. The only team with worse XG underperforming their XG is Everton at 8 under. So it's sad reading. But hey, what can you do? I think we've got to stay positive. We've got to stay with Poch. There's not really much to say at this point other than let's hope we don't spend too much more money other than on a striker and this young group grows. But apart from that, it's depressing reading at Chelsea.
Barcelona and Real Madrid played in a game that had very bizarre pre-game, festivities. The Rolling Stones' massive tongue coming down from the top tier, licking the fans down below. I have no idea whose idea was that to have this massive tongue banner. It's a shame. I think it is a shame that El Clasico specifically has been used as a opportunity to uber promote for a random album. And it's like a couple of years ago, I think Real Madrid made a designer kit and wore black for El Clasico, and Barcelona wore their alternative kit, and it doesn't feel the same anymore. Like, gone are the days of 2011 when you had like a massive tifo at Camp Nou, and yeah,
it's odd. It is odd. I don't necessarily dislike it just because it's a big band as opposed to like a company. But the same, what I just found weird about it is like they're a really old band, and then I don't know any connection the Rolling Stones have to Barcelona.
well, the connection is Spotify. It's a Spotify thing.
Yeah, 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 but like apart from that, a non-contracted association.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think there is one. They've probably played there loads, but yeah. So I don't mind these things. Like I've got a Fontaine's DC um shirt or Bose jersey with Fontaine's DC as the sponsor.
Hmm.
And that's pretty cool. So there's a Dublin band on a Dublin team jersey.
Nice.
That's
good.
And they're a good band. Yeah, and they're also like an up and coming band in the moment. So like it's not like I know it is just odd, but it doesn't surprise me. And
Oh, obviously not.
it could have been worse. It could have been like I don't know, pick your car company or whatever, sponsoring them, um, or Qatar Airways or something like that. Have a big
Yeah.
massive airplane coming down over the fans.
And then Jude Bellingham, pretty much single-handedly won the game in the second half. Because the first half was shocking from Real Madrid. It really was. First half was awful, and Jude particularly was anonymous. And then second half, it completely flipped. For some reason, they played with two strikers, Vinicius Junior and Rodrigo. Joselu came on in the 63rd minute. I think like some sort of presence and some sort of chance to stretch the pitch out a little bit rather than having Vinicius and Rodri down the middle. Having them stretch the pitch out a little bit helped, definitely. Didn't imagine Joselu coming on in the middle of the second half would change an El Clasico game. But it did. And Jude found himself some space and hit it from 25 yards and scored. And then it just like makes a run in the penalty area in the 92nd minute, unmarked, and just taps it in. It could hit a pin drop, but this guy, I don't know if I've ever seen more of a front runner for a future Ballon d'Or win. In fact, he's nominated for the, what's it called? Copa Trophy, which is like the Ballon d'Or Youth Trophy. He's nominated for it. I've never seen a front runner for a prize that isn't Messi for a Ballon d'Or more, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. There's the Euros in the summer as well, which he's got all the potential there to
England and France, one of them
I
has
can't
to
say
win.
it, but yeah. So
God.
yeah, we've got that in the summer, in Germany.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's definitely is the front runner. He have to win something first, as well. Like it's that's the thing with the Ballon d'Or. It's kind of like you can win, probably score all the goals you want, but uh, if you don't win a trophy, then you're probably not going to win the Ballon d'Or.
Mm.
Messi's won it because of the World Cup performance,
Yeah.
and then just tearing up the MLS since he's moved there.
Well, I mean, he didn't exactly light up the MLS as much as he lit up Leagues Cup, which is this, kind of new trophy. In MLS, he played like 4 games and then was nominated for Newcomer of the Year, like best signing of the season kind of thing.
Yeah.
While he played 4 games. Exactly. It scored like 1 goal. If he even scored a goal. And Inter Miami ended up finishing like the place before last in the Eastern Conference. Failed to make the playoffs, of course. But that's because he came in with Inter Miami last in the conference. But like still like as a new signing that played 4 games, why do you have him as new signing of the season? And he barely got. It's like it's that sort of thing. The MLS, the sort of odd decisions MLS takes that just. I want to talk about the MLS for a little bit before we move on to the Ballon d'Or.
There's stuff, they're doing stuff to try and increase, like, for profile reasons rather than like a logical reason, which you could say is logical in some way if you want to grow the league.
I guess so, but it just it makes the league look small in a way.
It is, Sally.
Well, it is, to be honest. This season, so a year ago today, there was the Eastern Conference final, which is the MLS semifinal, basically. Greatest night of my life. Like that period of the playoffs, we played against Cincinnati in the conference semis and New York in the conference final. Those 2 nights were insane. Like the best atmospheres in a sporting environment that I've ever been in, because the games mattered, because they were single elimination games. You played the game, you win or you're out. So it was so consequential. Like we sold out the seats, and then sold some like standing room seats. But it worked. It worked. People went to games and people watched, and it was the most watched MLS Cup final of all time. And then they decided to change the format for this season. So there's a wild card round, which was a thing from last year. No, sorry, it wasn't a thing. This is a new thing. So we have 14 teams, a conference.
Mm-hmm.
No, listen, this is bizarre. Keep up with me here, guys. Bear with. But this is bizarre. There are 14 teams a conference. 8th and 9th place play a playoff game, a play-in round like the NBA. So 9th place can theoretically win MLS. Like 9th place in a conference can win MLS.
14.
There's 14 teams in a conference. Maybe Western Conference has 15.
So you come 5th bottom and win the MLS.
You can theoretically come 5th bottom and win the MLS. Absolutely. In fact, last night, 8th place in the Western Conference, Sporting Kansas City, won at first place, St. Louis City, 4-1. In game 1 of 3 of the round 1 of playoffs. So once there's the wild card game, there's a
basketball.
Yeah, there's a best of 3 series for the first round.
Is there a tie or do you have to win the game?
You have to win the game. So if the game is tied, you have to win on penalties. You have to play a penalty shootout.
If you're gonna go and do it properly. Have golden goal.
Yeah. Okay. I back that.
If you're gonna do the American way, do the American way. Have an overtime buzzer beater.
Have the MLS style penalty shootouts.
The old style.
Run-up. Yeah, the old style penalties.
Yeah. Absolutely. None of this hybrid stuff. If you're gonna try and get people on side, go mental with it.
Yeah.
And make it really interesting.
Well, I guess they tried. They went for that in a best of 3 series.
Get Spencer Owen to organize it. We do bring in the Wembley Cup rules where it was one player comes off every minute.
Yeah.
Or that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. So there's that. The scheduling is bizarre as well. So we played game 1 of round 1 against New England, 1-3-1. And then we play game 2 in New England, so against New England Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
That is a week from... It's not like this Sunday, it's the following Sunday.
So 2 weeks' time.
Yeah. Or no, Wednesday midweek. So a week and a half from now. And then game 3, if necessary, is the following weekend. So we have a week and a half gap, and then you play once, and then you play 3 days later.
That is weird.
Some
and where would the third game be played? Would that be played back in Philadelphia?
Yeah, it would be.
So, and how do they decide who gets the 2 home games? Is it just better seeded team?
Better seeded team, yeah.
Right. Strange.
Very strange. And then they go back to single elimination conference semifinals and conference finals anyway. And MLS Cup, of course. Which MLS Cup? I have a gripe with MLS Cup being hosted in the better seeded team, the team with a better record out of the 2 conference winners.
So is this? So what ranking were Philadelphia and what were they playing?
4th, and we were playing 5th.
4th versus 5th.
Yeah.
See, I don't know why they wouldn't do it the other way around. Have the 3 games for the better teams. Whenever you get to the semi-final, because the whole that sounds to me like they want more games to be able to sell. Like the way they're doing it with the Champions League, where they wanted more games of the top teams playing each other.
Yeah,
I get that, but why have they picked the early rounds to do that, and then the later rounds are still just 1 game? Surely you would do. If I was thinking about it, I would do the semi-final and the quarterfinal like that. But if I was doing it, I just left it up that you play 1 game, and that sounds good as well.
I wouldn't do a round of 3 at all. I would just do single.
Round of 3 is a lot.
Yeah.
For soccer, that's a lot.
It really is. And now you have a situation where there's an expanded Champions League, there's a new Leagues Cup, there's an expanded playoffs. Teams might have an 8-week off season. So the off season would be just 8 weeks. That's mental. Like 8 weeks between the last game of the season and the first game of the following season. So ignoring preseason.
Yeah.
So they have like a month off and then get right back at it. Yeah, bizarre.
It's the way football's going to go. European football's no
Unfortunately,
different.
and MLS is the leader. Of course, America has started this. Okay. Well, Ballon d'Or is for some reason still kind of important.
I
Because
don't be like that about it, Ali. It's so good. It
it's
is
a
good.
magazine award. It's a magazine award. If you want the real best player in the world trophy, go to FIFA. This is a magazine that's not even reliable.
I disagree completely. I would trust a football magazine that has football heritage
Heritage.
over those crooks at FIFA. Are you mad? Because
Yeah.
it's all done by votes as well. Like it's like there's a journalist vote, then there's the captain of every national team, and then the manager of every national team,
Yes. Yeah.
something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
So no, the Ballon d'Or is the original, the OG, and it looks and the actual trophy looks incredible.
The actual
It's always
trophy
looking
looks
incredible.
great, but
Yeah.
in a real logical sense, when you really think about it, it's just a glorified magazine award for player of the year with a fancy name and a fancy trophy. 30th to 15th have been announced. Who is reportedly winning Ballon d'Or, Fergal?
Evan Ferguson, is it?
No, it's an MLS player.
No, sorry, I'm thinking of the next couple of years. Sorry.
Yeah.
Messi is winning the Ballon d'Or.
Lionel Messi of Inter Miami is winning Ballon d'Or. Won his first one at the age of 22. He is 36 now. Yeah. Yeah, that's insane. That's insane. I don't think there's a year where you would say, of the 8 that he's won it, where you would say, nah, he wasn't really the best player in the world, was he?
Yeah,
with
there's so
certainty.
many other years that people would have actually said, oh, he should have won that year as well.
Yeah.
Um,
2013, for example.
yeah. Yeah, it's man. He's the GOAT. It's all established. He's
Yeah.
the GOAT.
Yeah, he is.
And yeah, I don't even mind. Like, there's probably a case that he shouldn't have won it this year.
Hmm.
Like maybe Haaland should have won it or something like that, or
But
yeah,
why?
Mbappe even. Well, just because he's like for PSG, he didn't have an amazing season,
He obviously. Oh, he did.
did he?
He did. Yeah. I don't have the exact stats, but they're still like they are still. He
He's
still
done
has
well,
still had one of the best records in a season in the world.
but did he? Fair enough. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, but I'm delighted he is getting it because he won the World Cup and it's Messi. So I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, it's Messi. He gets it.
Yeah.
But I say I'm sure there's a case for like the fact that he's gone to MLS afterwards, sort of halfway through the year. That's what I'm thinking of as well.
Hmm.
But the World Cup sales it pretty much does not.
Yeah. I'm still slightly confused on what the time period for Ballon d'Or is. Like, is it the season? Is it
But
like from
they
September to
adjusted it
September? They've adjusted. I feel like they've adjusted it multiple times
for the World
since.
Cup.
Oh, for the World Cup. Okay.
Yeah, they adjusted it to make sure the World Cup was considered for this year's um one, because otherwise I think it would have half of it would have been included in last year's, and then half it would have been included in this year's.
Oh, okay. So he just brought it forward a couple of
So
weeks, let's say.
yeah, um, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, I like the Ballon d'Or. Like the Pushkash Award is good. Um,
Pushkash is FIFA's. Puskás is a FIFA
Is
award.
it?
Yeah.
Oh,
It
is
is
it?
not a France Football Award.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there you go. There isn't an example of where the two get
There's a
confused.
confusion. I don't know why they separated. Just make one award and have the fancy
Well,
trophy.
it was a FIFA decision to separate themselves from France football.
I imagine it would be because France Football wouldn't go to FIFA and say we want nothing to do with you anymore.
Yeah, but like they just stick with the Ballon d'Or. Like just not this FIFA best stuff. Like the trophy, it's all about the trophy. Like it's like if you can come out and get a better looking trophy than the Ballon d'Or, we might listen to you. But that little scrubby World Cup knockoff of a thing that they get for winning the best FIFA player, it's nothing on the Ballon d'Or.
I mean, I appreciate the sentiment, but I disagree. Can we play a little quiz because up to 13th has now been awarded, and I've just seen one of the rankings, and it is truly astounding. Let's play a quiz.
Well, I have to guess the player
Guess who finished higher.
who finished high. Okay.
Yeah, that's 30th to 13th so far is what I have updated in my timeline.
Uh-huh.
Shout out to the European lad. Don't really like his Twitter page, but he does have like minute by minute Ballon d'Or, rankings updated. Who finished higher between Moroccan goalkeeper Yassin Bono and Argentinian goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez?
Surely Martinez.
The correct answer is Yassin Bono in 13th.
Wow.
Emiliano Martinez has finished 15th.
Is Bono the best goalkeeper? Or I suppose we don't know for sure.
We don't know yet. It typically has, like, if there's FIFA does this, there's a team of the year, and then there's goalkeeper of the year, and the team of the year goalkeeper is different than the goalkeeper of the year.
Yeah.
That often happens with FIFA, but I don't know if France Football's one has a team of the year thing. Question 2: who finished higher between? Let's see, Antoine Griezmann
Mm-hmm.
and Kim Min-jae.
The centre back for Napoli last season. Right.
Yeah.
Griezmann was incredible at the World Cup. Arguably the best player up until the final. And then he didn't have as good a final. Kim and Jay. Actually don't think I've seen him play game football yet.
Napoli defender for a title-winning side. Now a defender at Bayern
Yeah,
Munich.
I think I watched a Napoli game all season last year. I probably must have saw it at some point. I would say Kim and Jay. He won the title. He's got a big move to Bayern.
Correct answer is Antoine Griezmann by actually just one place. 21st.
Right, it's
versus
all about the
22nd.
World Cup then. It's just all about the World Cup.
I have 2 more questions in this. Let's ask 2 more questions. Who finished higher between Jamal Musiala and Andre Onana?
Andre Onana. What did Onana do last year?
Huh?
What did Onana do last year?
Well, he was at Inter.
Yeah. But what did they do?
Chelsea final.
True. I had a good game in them. And who's the other one?
Jamal Musiala.
Jamal Musiala. I want to say Musiala. And because of that, I'm actually going to say Onana because I've been wrong so far. So we'll go on.
Correct. Andre Onana finished 23rd. Andre Onana is allegedly the 23rd best player in the world. Jamal Musiala is 26th. And one more question. who finished higher between Khvicha Kvaratskhelia and Jude Bellingham.
Oh, the Napoli guy.
The Napoli guy. He finishes one place
Yeah.
higher than a player that has 13 goals and 3 assists in 13 appearances for Real Madrid, Jude Bellingham.
I would say that's fair though, because they won the title.
Yeah, Kvaratskhelia did win the title, but he did go from March to November
and
without an open game.
Dortmund bottled it on the last day of the season.
Or September, rather. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. That was insane.
So,
They didn't win against last place. And,
but there's a bit of recency bias expecting Bellingham to be higher ranked there.
In the way I see it is that it is a player award and a team award. So,
yeah.
I appreciate the
so.
achievements. I appreciate the achievements. However,
But he was one of the best.
It's not that bad.
He was one of the best players for Napoli. He's arguably the best winger. I was going maybe not. Yeah, best winger apart from Mbappe.
He was one of the best wingers in the world last season. That is true. Yeah. And that's my confusion is what's the stopping point? Either give it for a season or for a calendar year, preferably for a season.
It is strange that a French magazine picked the end of the year to have the award ceremony as opposed to the end of the French football season or most European leagues.
Yeah. It's not even the end of the year. It's October 30th today as we record. Happy Halloween.
Yeah.
I don't know. Harry Kane is 19th.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Has any other players have come through? One last refresh before we move on.
What?
No,
Harry
we stopped at
Kane
13 so far.
Harry Kane could win it next year.
Given what he's doing at Bayern, if Bayern win Champions League, yes.
That goal he scored at the weekend was incredible.
Oh, it was insane. They scored 7 goals in 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That was an eventful one. Only Bayern have the ability. Only Bayern in the Bundesliga have the ability to do so. Right. Do you have any short king of the week shouts for this week? Obviously, speaking of short kings, our condolences for the injured Pedro Neto, and I hope it's not serious, but he was carted off. One of probably the best short king of the Premier League season so far. Has gotten an upper hamstring injury, so the butt.
Bernardo Silva would probably be my shout, I would say.
I think so too. Or how tall is Ilkay Gundogan actually?
No, we look him up every time, and he's like 6 foot. He's
Ilkay
one of these
Gundogan
ones we've. Yeah.
It's 5'11". Yeah. Go on, give it Bernardo Silva.
Bernardo Silva ran the game. Fair play to him.
Very much so. Yeah, Manchester Derby at Old Trafford. Despite the difference between those two teams right now, it's never easy in a derby, as some people say. So, yeah, fair play to him. Right then. Congrats to Messi ultimately winning the magazine award. And until he wins the real FIFA award, I won't take it very seriously. Thank you, Fergal, for stopping by today despite microphone issues. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for bearing with me on my MLS rant. Check us out on all of the links below to our socials and everything else. We'll see you next week, all being well, hopefully with Harry when he stops playing golf, and George when he stops working, I guess. All right. See you guys soon.